What up, it's your boy Dvrth back at it again with another video, and today we're here with Stone Ocean episode 25. One of the best ideas or best decisions that I've ever had while watching JoJo has always been, or at least for this part, has always been to watch this week to week. And I say that because since we finished since we finished the second batch and we ended off on episode 24, it was only a matter of weeks before we got back into JoJo and started batch 3. So I'm really glad that we spaced all of that out to the point to where like we weren't really, or at least I wasn't really waiting too long to watch batch 3. And I'm also just glad that batch 3 came out so quickly. I'm excited for what's to come. I believe this is the final batch. Correct me if I'm wrong. I try my best not to look too much into like the nuts and bolts of like the show, just in case like I look up, is this the final batch, and then all of a sudden it comes out with, is this the batch where Jolene dies and Jotaro break dances on her corpse? Like I don't want to run into any accidents and spoil myself, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is it. So I'm going to let myself be excited until proven otherwise. So I'm excited, can't wait to get into this. We have a full new set of episodes to watch, and this is what I believe is going to be the final, what I'm pretty sure is the final batch of episodes. And what this show is seeing, or at least I think we can say with some like semblance of like being sure, or like, you know, being sure of what's going to happen here. But what this show is all culminating into being, it's going to be crazy. It's definitely going to live up to the bizarre part of this show's name. So I'm hyped, ready to get into it. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, something totally different, the best place to that in. As always, my social media link's gonna be in the description below. And if you want these episodes early, or the full-length reaction to these episodes, you can subscribe to my Patreon. Link's gonna be in the description below for that as well. Like I said, with the Chainsaw Man reactions, JoJo is one of them shows where it's kind of hard to edit because there's a lot going on, and I hate that there's some parts of the episode that I hate taking out, but unfortunately YouTube is a cruel bitch of a mistress. So the Patreon's there for that. So with all that being said, we also have a Discord, but yeah, that's about it. Let me get my headphones, make sure they're on. Them bitches is on, and let's just get into it. Oh shit, space. I forgot about that. Oh, he's just gonna hide out. At least that's what I would do. Yeah, we out of here. It was. Oh, gas station. Right. Yeah. Ooh. Oh. A new OP. Ooh. My God. So wow. Oh, this is like this is the most somber OP I have heard from JoJo. Yo. Ooh. What the fuck? Oh yeah, these visuals are cool. Oh yeah, these visuals are great. Oh, he got that piece on him? Ooh. These visuals are so cold. What the fuck? That is the most somber OP that we have ever gotten JoJo, I think. Shit. Shit. What? What? Wait. That's not... Weather report. Why? Wait. Did he speed up the car? Like he sped up the car's life cycle? What? Oh, the angel numbers. Nah, this is where he needs to be because the angel numbers say that's where he gotta be. Okay. What is going on? Oh, is he about to... Wait, no, I don't think he can use Whitesnake anymore. Who the fuck? A bullet, a coin, and a ring? What the fuck? Okay. A coin and a ring. There's some prime numbers going on. What the fuck? Oh, he has like a magnet on it. Is he the one that... Oh my god! What? Oh my god! Oh, is he like testing? Yeah, he's testing it. Oh my god! Gravitational force between another person. Lever. What? Yeah, he's testing it. Oh my god! He is becoming the shepherd. He's genuinely becoming this. 3 of them. Oh my god. Yeah, he's gonna... Bro. Why do you have a fucking star on your back? Why is it not raining around you, bro? Oh, cause he... Oh, okay. I see. God, he has a demon. Nah, he has a demon ability, bro. Wait. Yeah, what happened to the characters? No! A stand that brings characters to life? Pinocchio? Pinocchio! What? Oh my god, it is these niggas about it. Bro, please, God, please tell me they get attacked by Mickey Mouse. Oh my god. Goofy? Oh my god. Don't lie to me. Oh my, yep. God damn. Right, there's more of you. There's more, like, fairy tales out there, huh? Ooh. What the fuck? The Three Musketeers? Oh no, those are just... Who the fuck are y'all? Oh, oh. Jesus. Yeah, they're putting the horror back into... Yep. Jesus Christ. What? T-1000? What? Chewbacca? The Elephant Man? Hi ho, hi ho. Batman? The hero that we need and deserve and whatever the fuck else. What the fuck? What? What is with the... Is that my... Yeah, okay, I was like, what? Shit, what the fuck? Did Ansui just become fiction? What the fuck? Oh, oh, oh. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. What? Oh god, what? What the fuck? What the fuck? Why is Astro Boy up there? They're Japanese to show up. So fictional characters are brought into the world and then they... Nigga. Oh, his nose didn't grow. Bohemian Rhapsody, okay. Oh! What the fuck are you? Oh my god. No, it's the big, the fucking wolf, yes! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. What the fuck? Oh, fuck. The user. What? What? Oh, a butterfly. Was that always there? Is that some new shit? That why is there? Oh, this is new. What the fuck? What? Let me say that stand is very OP. Like that stand could be extremely OP because I already know what I would do with that stand. Like I already know what I would do with that stand. So like, yeah, that's OP. Bohemian Rhapsody, I think that's what it was. I think it said elastic, which Rhapsody elastic. I'm not. I guess because it elasticity. I don't know. So that's interesting. Real quick, this isn't really something that I really have much to discuss about, but it is something that I want to point out about the ED is that the only difference between the last ED and the new ED that we got is that there's life present in this ED. Like I said, it's not something that I actually like want to discuss right now because there's not much to be said about it. I have, you know, there can be things said about it and inferred about it, but that's just something I wanted to point out, that the only difference between the two is that there's life in this ED, because immediately I was like, oh, butterfly, that wasn't there, because the last ED was just completely bare and it was a sea of nothing. In the new ED, it was the same visuals, kind of relatively the same visuals, only they added the life within the ED or the ocean that they showed, or that they were showing. Jesus fucking Christ. But on the topic of the ED, I want to say the OP, getting a new OP. First of all, wow, okay. For some reason I wasn't expecting a new OP, even though I think we talked about it in the last discussion. But what I do want to say about the OP is that it, as I said during or while watching it, that is the most somber OP that we've ever gotten in JoJo, and I think I can say that with like absolute 100%. I'm 100% sure of myself. That is the most somber OP that we've ever gotten in JoJo, in like JoJo history, as far at like thus far, right? Like, who knows if they ever animate part 7, and that shit might just straight up be sad. But yeah, that's the most somber. I say that because like that doesn't bode very well for how this show may end. Because it gave I don't know, it doesn't bode very well. It makes me feel uneasy. I do really like the new OP. I like this song. I'm definitely gonna have to listen to it a couple more times to like get into that mood of like, ooh, this shit a banger for real, right? But I do really like the song. But I really like the visuals of the OP. The visuals are really good. Some of the best that we've seen so far. And I think my favorite part of the OP when it comes to the visuals is that last shot of them at the sea, or they're standing in the sea, and it's Jolene and Poochie like about to go at it, and the set, like the background, the set piece of it being like on the shore, like at the shore, and the actual water, like the actual like sea, and somewhere in between that of them fighting each other, and having like the moon be kind of like eclipsed, and there's like this light and dark, like it seems so otherworldly. It doesn't, like, that place doesn't seem like it's on anywhere on Earth. Now you're talking about, this is coming from somebody who hasn't been to many places outside of his you know, his own state, you know. Haven't been to too many places outside of good old Texas, but that did feel otherworldly. It did feel like it was this place is nowhere on Earth. This is actually the between lands of life and death and everything that exists. So I do like just that whole set, those visuals there in that last part. But let's get into that actual episode. First off, let me actually look at this shit. First off, there's a couple things to talk about. Not sure how in depth we'll get into these things, because, you know, it's kind of confusing. But first off, we have Weather Report is shown to have a star on his back. Now, originally I was thinking, oh, it's Poochie again, right? Like it's Poochie masking himself as Weather Report, like he did in episode 22, I believe. So I was like, oh, okay, he's just disguising himself as Weather Report. That's why he has the star. But then I thought, I was like, oh wait, no, Poochie. I don't think I guess it's not confirmed whether he still has White Snake, but he has a new stand, and I don't think we've ever seen somebody have two stands. Like, what? Now, hang on, we've seen people, especially in this part. My point being, I don't think we've ever seen somebody have two stands, like independent of each other. I don't know how I'm trying to explain that. Point being, I don't think that he has White Snake anymore. I don't think he has the green. Somebody told me what the green baby's stand name was. It was like green grass or something like that. I was like, what? But I don't think he has either two of those stands, right? I think it's a totally new stand. We haven't been shown what exactly it is, nor I don't even think we have the name of it. We don't know anything about this new stand. So immediately after realizing that, I'm like, okay, so it's not him, it's not Poochie. He just, like, Weather Report just has a star on his back for some reason, which is indicative of him being a Joestar. Now that here's the thing, it makes a lot of sense. That immediately made a lot of sense why he's so fucking OP. Like, who else would have, like, I genuinely believe that Weather Report has the best stand in JoJo outside of like the world breaking stands, you know. Like, of course there's your Jorno's, who basically has a stand power so strong that he doesn't know what it's doing. You had like Diavolo's, King Crimson, the world, stuff like, you know. But like, for somebody who just has like a, for lack of a better term, simple stand, he probably has the strongest. So it makes a lot of, like, if he's a Joestar for whatever, it makes a lot of sense that he is that. It just makes a lot of sense why he's so fucking OP. Because most Joestars are. However, what it now brings into question is something that I think I brought up before in like the first batch, which is that I don't trust Weather Report as much as strong as he is. I don't trust him, and it's because he's so strong that I don't trust him. Maybe this is me metagaming, like I've probably said before, this is probably me metagaming, but since he's so strong, he's too strong to have on our team, and he doesn't remember any, like, he doesn't have his memories and stuff like that. Who's to say that he is actually on our side, right? And he seems like, Weather Report seems to either be slowly regaining his memories and knowing which side he's actually on, or somebody being Poochie gave him his memories back or something to that effect, and now he's like, okay, let's get into position so we can dirt Jolene, right? Which either way is still bad. Either way, it means that we just lost a comrade, in a very strong one too. Like, I can't speak enough on how ridiculous and how useful and versatile his stand is. So losing him is a huge, I mean, that shit is bad. That's bad, right? But yeah, it's really weird. Like, a Joestar, huh? A Joestar, huh? And like, and that's just assuming that he's a Joestar, and not like assuming that some fuck shit happened the same way that it happened with Poochie. Oh wait, hold on. Cause wait, hang on. Poochie only got it because he basically, is there another, does that technically mean that there's a Brando out there? Well, not a Brando. You know what I mean? Like there's another son of Dio. Is he a son of Dio, or is that just indicative of there being a son of Dio? There has to be some fuck shit, because like that's the only way that Poochie got it, is that he merged with a son of Dio. That you can't get rid of that nigga. Hang on. Is that why? Because there's something with that, and that's what's fucking me up now that I think about it. Because that's the only way that Poochie actually got the star, is that he merged with a pretty much a son of Dio, the baby, and since Dio is technically also a Joestar now. What the fuck? Is he a Joestar because he's a son of Dio? So he's either a Joestar because he's a son of Dio, or he merged with a son of Dio, or he was given the memories of, or he's just a Joestar, or he's just a Joestar. That's also, or he's just a Joestar. There's so many, because that's for me is one of the biggest twists of this show. Weather Report having a star is probably one of top 5 twists, and it ain't five through 2. Like okay, well I'll get off that for now, because I don't want to harp on it too much, because there's a lot more for us to actually talk about. We will get there when we get more information, or when the time comes, but there are so many aspects to that part of that reveal. There's so many aspects and possibilities to that reveal. If we sat there and talked about it, this video, on top of everything else that we were about to talk about, this video would probably be like 3.5 hours. So we won't do that just yet, but we will move on to the next thing, and we will bookmark that. That's what we'll bookmark it. So next, the animation. First of all, can I say that the animation got really good in batch 2, right? Like I really enjoy, like, the animation obviously got improved a lot better, or a lot more. But it seems like the animation is doing really well now. It's going full throttle. Just the fidelity of it looks great, and all the other stuff. Love it. But on to actually story points and, you know, plots. One of the most interesting things that happened this episode was Poochie being in the taxi cab and getting a prime number of 3, or his angel numbers of 3, and seeing like the 3 musketeers, three shooting stars and stuff like that, and immediately getting out, right? And as soon as I see, you know, all the 3s pop up, I'm like, get out, right? Because with the type of plan and the type of man that Poochie is and Poochie has, being a man of God, of course, if he were shown a sign like this would be nothing but confirmation that he has some type of hold or control or foresight on fate itself, right? And I've said this time and time again, but fate for me in this show is at the weakest is a hidden character that people don't really notice all too much, and at its strongest is actually God. So when fate gives you 333, and you're a man like Poochie who finds comfort in prime numbers, and you see all these 3s everywhere and stuff like that, you obviously you follow it, right? And you realize that you are that much closer to this heaven that you seek, right? Because now the world is starting to shift into your favor. The world is starting to show you that it's game set match. You are now on train tracks, right? So when he gets out the car and he goes out and he gets into this whole situation of, you know, robbers and or, you know, like what are they, were there like biker gangs and stuff like that, like these criminals and stuff, and you get into a situation where I originally was thinking, oh, this is like going to be some like hidden meaning shit, right? And there still could be, right? If you look at it, I thought it was gonna be like some hidden meaning shit where like, oh, we're setting up for some shit to like really blow our minds, right? But what it was, or at least what it turned out to be, was a way to show, for Poochie to show the audience, himself and everybody else, that he has now been appointed the role of shepherd for the people. This is something that we've talked about, but it's being shown in this scene, that yes, he has been appointed the role of shepherd for the people to come on over into his new heaven, right? He, as he said, everybody should know who their father is, right? So for the world, fate, and everything to appoint him such a prestigious role is something that I'm sure Father Poochie has been waiting for a very long time. This is the best news that he could get, right? But on a darker note, like I said, game, set, match, your life's on train tracks. This isn't good for him either, right? I think what this scene did for us is a lot of reaffirming on theories that I'm sure me and others, people in general have had, that Poochie is condemning himself for the salvation of others, right? Or not even others, for the salvation of everybody. And seeing this scene play out, and the whole thing of like the ring, the coin, was it a ring, a coin, and a bullet, kind of like, once again, 3 items pulled to him, and him talking about gravity and stuff like that, which we'll talk about as well. It reminded me a lot of like some like biblical, like a biblical kind of story, like no in particular one, but just like a biblical kind of story where that somebody would tell later on in life, and it would be passed down, like, oh yeah, in our shepherd, you know, our shepherd then was put at knife point. He was held up at knife point, and he simply gave himself to the sinner, and he, you know, he knew that no wrong would be done by him, and said that this was your time, you know, this was your time to choose and stuff like that. And in that moment, no harm came to him. He did not die. You know, it was such a biblical moment, and I think that's one of the things that stood out to me personally. I don't think that that's something that may have stood out to somebody else, or like that. I don't think that that's something that was exactly something that they were exactly trying to portray in the show. I don't think it may not have even been written like that, but to me it was like, oh yeah, this is something that like you would assume that the Bible would say, right? And for him, you know, the kind of man that Poochie is, this once again is exactly what he'd want. And him talking about this gravity that you know, he believes in. Once again, I think he wants to be the focal point for that, and I can see what he's trying to do with it, right? And I won't get into the whole thing of like, You know, but this is a really condemning Poochie thing. Like, I won't go too far into it because we've had discussions about it before, and I don't want to rehash that and make it too too samey, I guess. But I will say that throughout JoJo, and ever since Stands, I guess you could say, we've always talked about this kind of gravity. The show's talked about this gravity. I think it was in part 4 that they really mentioned it, was this gravity that brings Stand users together. It's only that in part 6, we're extending it from, it seems like we want to extend it from Stand users to just people in general, right? It's like Stand users being the vessels, the angels that then bring these events closer to each other, thus making that singularity and bringing the entire world to, you know, closer in that their little heaven thing, right? The gravity seems like that's what that is, right? Is that it's bringing everybody to their father. So really interesting things going on with Poochie. Trying to see if there's anything else that happened here. The guy got like pulled by somebody or something. I don't know. Maybe that was the Stand user that we've been looking for. But yeah, really interesting things going on with Poochie. Just seeing the entire situation in like a big picture kind of way, where he's not scared. He knows that he'll be okay, and he knows that the guy won't hurt him because the world, fate, and everything else is showing him you are safe and you are now in control of this, or at least you have relinquished control of everything, and now you've kind of condemned yourself. Because there is, like I said, I won't get onto that tangent, but what I will end that tangent off on is that poison typically tastes sweet. So make of that what you will. So that was really cool. Really excited to get more into that. And also, I guess now we're done with that, we should really get into the nitty gritty of this episode, which was Weather Report and Ansui together in fighting this new Stand user. And I have absolutely no, like, this is a weird one. It's a really strong one though, right? So what it seems like it's doing is that it pulls characters out of fiction and it brings people into it. Now, what it seems like right now is that it's a really hard stand to get past, right? Because who knows what kind of characters it could eventually bring in. And since it's kind of like as soon as it gets your favorite character, I guess, like, then you're screwed or something like that. I don't know. It brings you into, like, it separates your mind from your body, which is crazy. So now it's effectively separated Ansui and Weather Report. Weather Report being the more immune to it because he doesn't have his memories apparently, and like he said, he's like, I don't know any of you people. So that makes sense why he wouldn't know, or why he wouldn't be much, or this Stand wouldn't be much of a threat to him, because he doesn't know any of these characters, or he just, like, if he does have his memory, Jesus fucking Christ, I just had a stroke. If he does have his memories, he probably, like, legitimately just doesn't know any of these characters. He's like, I've never read any of these books. Like, yeah, fuck y'all, bro. But it's a really cool Stand. I genuinely like that they added since they have like these Disney story kind of characters, they added the horror back to it. And I say added the horror back into it because for those, I'm pretty sure this is just common knowledge at this point, but for those that don't know, Disney characters and Disney stories tend to be horror stories made into children's movies. And you can kind of just like go back and like specifically stories like Snow White. I believe that was like that's a big one as a horror story, and Pinocchio. Like, so it's not surprising that those are the two stories that they use, and the two sets of characters that they use is Pinocchio and Snow White, because they made them very creepy, made them very scary, and to be honest, I wouldn't want it any other way. Mostly because, one, it makes them seem more like a threat, but also it's the actual staying true of the characters. You would think seeing a cartoonish Pinocchio, you know, with the little leaf hat and stuff, and seeing the jolly old what are they? I was about to call them trolls. Dwarves. Seeing the jolly dwarves and stuff like that would be, you know, that would be a little off-putting. It would be funny, but you know, it technically wouldn't be true to the character. So I like that they're very creepy, but how do we handle this stand? I don't know. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I genuinely don't know how to handle this stand, mostly because this is one, just a lack of information, because we don't know where the stand user is. We'd have to find him, and even if we do find him, he can still just summon more he can just summon more characters, which the thing is that if he can just summon more characters, he has an endless supply. Like, he has an endless supply of weapons. Like, his repertoire is actually genuinely almost endless. So I'm not sure how we would handle him. What I will say is how I know how I would use the stand, or how I would try to counteract the stand, is that when I figured out when the show, I shouldn't say when I figured out, because the show basically just told me, but when the show kind of told me what was going on, my immediate thought was, what about OCs? What about original characters? Can the man just make one? Like, if I were in this situation, what's stopping me from going, my favorite character is Goku Naruto, who hates you and wants to kill you, right? What's stopping me from doing that? Because it doesn't. I'm hard pressed to say or believe that this stand is only for like Disney characters, right? I mean, mostly because we see Japanese characters like Astro Boy and like the fucking Gundam, I forget his name, whatever. We see like other Japanese characters and stuff like that. So what's stopping somebody from just creating, right? And I like I said, I doubt that it's a yes, it can only be like Disney characters and well-established like that would be stupid. I guess. So in my mind, that's either something that would condemn our characters, or is a loophole for the stand, that being OCs. Like, at least that's how I would use it. I'm not saying that that's like the only way to fight it. Like, yeah, in all reality, the best way to fight him is just to go find the stand user and just get through his waves and waves of characters. But the way that JoJo works, you gotta be a little bit more, and I've learned this. I've learned this throughout watching JoJo, is that you gotta be a little bit more unique with the way that you handle your villains. Like, yeah, sometimes you can just straight beat his ass, and that works too. I'm not saying that it doesn't, because it totally does, and it's a great way to to handle your problems sometimes, especially when you're dealing with stand users with otherworldly powers. But you really gotta think outside the box. Though, like I said, the best way to handle this is the same way that we handle D&G, which is just go to his go to the stand user and kill him. Just go to the stand user and kill him. But kind of back on the topic of the stand user, or the stand, and our, you know, Weather Report and Ansui. Now that they are kind of split up, we've made the whole like one-on-one battle thing that we usually get with JoJo, and I'm guessing Ansui is gonna be kind of out of commission, since he's the one that's out of the fight. It's gonna be up to Weather Report to actually save Ansui. And like I said, Weather Report being the only one to save, or the only one to be in the real world, is actually a good thing. Though it is like the reason that he's the only one in the real world is that he just doesn't remember any of these characters, or he doesn't know any of these characters. So him having that immunity is going to be what we need to use against the stand user. I don't know how we would use it against the stand user, but that would be the best way that would be our best bet, right? There's really nothing that Weather Report's stand can't do. So it's not like we're out of the woods, because even if it just comes down to a brawl, I think Weather Report still has him. But I think it's just going to be more of an outsmart. Weather Report can make, well, because Weather Report is a blank slate. So if he wanted to, Weather Report could be the one to actually defeat him by, what am I trying to say? Weather Report, since he's a blank slate, he could technically be the one to defeat him, because none of the characters would have, how does this work actually? Because I don't know how the stand works. No, I don't think any of the characters have actual power over him until they become fiction. So Weather Report technically could probably get past the waves and waves of characters, maybe. I don't know actually. Yeah, I don't know actually, now that I think about it, because it doesn't seem, I don't know. Point being, this is going, oh no, my video, or not my video, my episode stopped. Point being, this is going to be a interesting way that we can he use what's his name's characters, guy that Oingo's characters, because because that's getting too deep into it. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'll say that much. This is a very interesting fight. It's a good way to start off this batch, because I'm very interested in how we end this. I'm still up for the OC idea, because that makes the most sense, but like I said, best that we just fight him head up. So this was a really good episode. Really enjoyed this one. Really liked the OP. Everything looked great. And this new set that we now have, because now we're out of the jail and we're actually getting to going to places. We're in Orlando, I think, or we're going to Orlando. Really excited to see what the set pieces there are, because they used the jail really masterfully when they were in there, when they're in Green Dolphin. They didn't make it feel like it was stagnant, like I was seeing the same thing over and over again. So I wonder what they could do when they're outside of Green Dolphin. That's going to be really interesting, actually, now that I think about it. So with all that being said, love the episode, love the OP and all this other stuff. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all that other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or something totally different, the best place to send that in. As always, my social media links going to be in the description below. And if you want these episodes early, subscribe to my Patreon. Links going to be in the description for that as well. We also have the full length reaction in those on the Patreon, and we also have Discord if you want to talk more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or something like that. So with all that being said, I'm gonna get my off button ready. Y'all stay amazing, stay safe, and y'all, I fucking lied. I lied. The video's not over. I'm sorry, the video's not over. I don't know how much longer this video is about to be extended by doing this, but the video's not over. The discussion's not over, because let me explain real quick. I turned off the camera. I was going to edit the video and everything. I was putting it in post edit. I was ready, and I stopped my fucking render for this. So this video is gonna be late. I'm sorry. I stopped the render for this, so this shit's gonna be late. But I got to the part where because I had to reread the subtitles and stuff, because I have to do some fucky shit with the subtitles for this episode, because it goes up and down. Point being, I had to reread the subtitles. And I got to the part where Weather Report, or Ansui, shows that Weather Report has the star. And when I see it, right, I'm still thinking like, oh, okay, so he's gotta be like a Joe star now, right? But the more I thought about it, and the more I was sitting there editing the video, the more I thought about it, I was like, we've never seen another Brando nor another Joe star. Like, we haven't seen one other than the baby. Now, okay, real quick, I should probably preface this by saying there's a huge possibility that I'm wasting a lot of people's time by going into this. So if I am wasting time, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But whatever. This is what you came for. Fuck it. So I'm thinking, we have never seen another Brando. We've never seen another Joe star outside the ones that we know, and the baby. The baby's the only Brando / Joe star that we have seen in this part outside of the main crew, Jolene, Joseph, Jesus fucking Christ, Jotaro, and you know, the like, right? That's the only one. The baby is the only one. And now Weather Report has it. So my thought was that Weather Report merged with a baby. Weather Report merged with another Brando / Joe star. But the more I thought about it, the more that makes no sense, because Weather Report was in the infirmary. As far as we now, unless the show like the anime shows us that he was off doing something else and he wasn't actually in the infirmary. But as far as I know, right? Because this is what broke this is what broke it for me. Is as far as I know, Weather Report has always been in the infirmary. I think that's where he was. I didn't go back to look or anything because I didn't want. You know how I feel about going back and looking at stuff. But as far as I know, he was in the infirmary. He had no time. He would have never. I don't think he would have had the time to find a Brando / Joestar and merge with him. Nor does he have the reason to. Like, as far as like, I don't think he has a reason to actually merge with one. Now, he could have he could have done it before, right? But that doesn't explain the reason why he would do it, right? So I came to the conclusion that he wouldn't do it, and he couldn't do it, nor has he done it. He has never merged with a Brando. He has never merged with a Joestar. He isn't a Joestar. He never was. And we don't even know who Weather Report is. My biggest thing has always been that Weather Report is actually an enemy. And since he has a star and he's never merged with one, why the fuck does he have a star? That makes no sense. But then I think about it a little bit more, right? Because this is the point. Like, this was my point of thinking, right, up until I had to like immediately cut on the camera just in case, just to talk about this a little bit more. But my thinking stops at he has no reason to be a Joestar / Brando. He never could have been, right? So why does he have the star? My theory is, at least this is this was my theory as of like 5 minutes ago, because it's been like maybe 10-15 minutes since I stopped the recording. But my theory is, right, and follow me on this, right? Follow me on this. Once again, if I'm wasting time, sorry. Is we don't see the star, or we're not revealed the star on Weather Report until after episode 24, when Poochie gets the star. And as far as we know, Poochie is the only one, non Joestar that has a star, because he merged with the baby. Now what we know about Poochie is that he has affected fate in a way that brings some sort of gravity towards people, right? And the gravity towards people is usually stand base. But what it also is, and especially in this type of part, and this is where my theory gets a little shaky, because we don't really know for sure. At least I don't really know for sure, and I don't care to, check any further. But what we do know is that there's a huge emphasis on familial ties in this show. So if he isn't a Joestar, and if he isn't a Brando, and we don't know who the fuck he is, but he's probably a bad guy, it leaves me with only one answer, or one answer I can see, is that he's none of those, but he's actually a fucking Poochie. The whole time, right? Because here, this is about to sound stupid, but this is what made me think of it, right? As far as I know, that nigga wears a hat, but his eyebrows are white. And the only person I know who also has white hair is Enrico Pucci. Now, I mean, I guess Pucci's hair could... No, because his hair's always been white. So now I'm thinking that the reason he has a star is because Pucci got a star. When Pucci got his star and it was revealed to us that he had a star, we immediately got revealed. Now that I'm looking at, now I'm really thinking about, it's so fucking on the nose. It's almost insulting. It's not really insulting, but we were only shown the star when Pucci got the star, and then we were shown that he had the star. Almost like the show was trying to correlate it. Now, what they did was masterful here, right? Is that they broke up the episodes, right? I don't think this is what they were trying to do, but they broke up the episodes between Pucci having the star and then Weather Report showing to have a star. Now, lucky for us, or lucky for me, I watched the last batch week to week, so I've seen what am I trying to say? Since I watched the batch week to week, it hasn't been that long since I've seen episode 24. So it wasn't that big of a break, but there's a good chance that Pucci and Weather Report are related, and that's why he has a star. Is that Pucci simply just got the star, and because they share the same blood or the same fate as Uncle, how old is Weather Report? Uncle and nephew, definitely not father and son, because definitely not. They cousins, maybe something like that. There's something, brothers, cousins, distant relatives, something like that, right? And in JoJo, I mean, with Joseph, we had got his Jotaro was Josuke's uncle, who is older than, like, things have been, we've seen weirder in familial ties with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but it at least to me, right? And if listen, I don't usually say this, but if you're a manga reader and I'm totally off, please don't yell at me, bro. Listen, that's the fun of theories. Don't get angry, okay? That's the fun of it, is that we can say crazy shit and it just be crazy shit, all right? Don't get pissed, all right? Don't stop screaming at the screen and typing. Well, you can type angry messages. I'm cool with that. But yes, that because it just doesn't make sense. And I'm talking in circles now, I guess, but like, it doesn't make sense for him to be a Brando or a Joestar. We would have known. Would we have not? I mean, no, we wouldn't have. Like, yes, you could stealth a Joestar in there. That would be cool. And that's why I was so excited for him to be a Joestar. I was like, oh my God, they stealthed the Joestar into the show. Like, I've never seen them do that, but they never did. They never did. They stealthed the Pucci into the show. Is he as far as I know, also like, and I guess this is like the only thing that I have to go on, is their hair color, but also their skin tone. Thing, Weather Report is lighter, like way lighter, but Weather Report is also darker than everybody else. He's not as dark as Poochie, right? Obviously, but he's the only other than Poochie, he's the only dark-ish character that we've got, other than like randos that nobody cares about, right? So the only thing that doesn't make sense, right, is that even if he is a Poochie, why doesn't he remember? Why wouldn't he remember Poochie, right? Like, why wouldn't he remember Enrico? Well, does he remember? I don't even know if he's like, because he called him no, wait, hang on. How long has this recording been going on? 15 minutes? I may have just been talking nothing for like 15 minutes, because I just realized Weather Report refers to Poochie as the priest. I think I just shot down my own theory. It wasn't a huge, like, I wasn't banking on it too much, but I think I just shot down my own theory. Yeah, he refers to him as the priest. Yeah. As far as I think he refers, because during the fight, during the I was about to call him J Guile, goddamn. During the monkey man, what was his name? The monkey man. Whatever his name was, you know, the guy with the centrifuge as like punches and stuff, the gravity guy. After his fight, I think he referred to Poochie as the priest. And like, yeah, I could still say, well, his memories are fucked. But he did. I was hyped for that one too. God damn it. But it's still, I don't know. That it's that kind of like puts things into perspective a little bit more. Now, granted, like, he could still just have his memories gone for whatever reason, whether it's that Poochie took his memories out, or I don't know. But that is to play devil's. I'll say that to play devil's advocate with myself. He does refer to him as the priest, and if he did remember him, he wouldn't refer to him as. No, he would, because he wouldn't want anybody to know if he was the bad guy. But he's like literally unknowing that he is. Like I said in the original discussion, him being revealed to have a star is like top 5 twists, and it ain't 5 through 2, because that changes so much, because it means that he's either a Brando / Joestar, or he's a Poochie. And I've already, like, him being a Brando / Joestar is like way less plausible to me than him being a Poochie now, because it doesn't seem it weak, because as far as, okay, hang on, because we do know that the idea of I was about to call him JoJo. The idea of Dio continuing to haunt our main cast even outside of his death, him having like, you know, having sons like Giorno, and then eventually having a descendant like the Green Baby. That's always been like a reoccurring thing. So while it's still interesting as a theory to me, it's a little iffy because, like I said, he was in the infirmary. He had never had a chance to like actually he was never shown to take any of the steps to actually gain a son of Dio or a descendant of Dio or a Joestar homunculus baby or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. So that's shaky, but also the only reason the Poochie theory works a little bit more is because he technically has the most likeness to Poochie than any other character. Like, he has more of a likeness to being a Poochie than he has a likeness to being a Brando / Joestar. Like, dark skin, white hair, or supposed white hair. We haven't seen his hair technically. He wears the hat. We have seen his eyebrows though. That's the only thing that's tipped me off so far, or at least it's the only like thing. It's the only strand I'm kind of like grasping at, is that his eyebrows are white, meaning that he probably has white hair. Poochie has white eyebrows, but in a lot of ways there are a bunch of like anime, like dark skinned anime characters that have white hair. That's a thing. So bro, it's just the first episode of The Batch, bro. I don't know. I just wanted to get back on here to say that I'm still I haven't let go of the Brando / Joestar theory. I just wanted to add in the Poochie theory because there's no why else would he have a star? Either he's a Joestar / Brando or he's a Poochie, and he just got the star because Poochie and him are related. But why would you get a star? Well, because yeah, if they're blood related and fade and blah blah blah, and symbolism of, yeah. I don't want this to be a 2-hour video. I don't. My point in case is that while yes, we're going to bookmark the whole weather report having a star thing, the amount of, and I think I literally did say it, like, yo, if I were to get into all of the reasons yeah, we're gonna bookmark again the weather report having a star thing until we get more evidence, because ever since we laid eyes on weather report, something ain't right about that boy. He ain't, like, he's a little too strong, and like I said, since he's a little too strong, that makes a lot of sense why he would be a Joestar. They're usually kind of OP, but there's a lot of the show that also says he's probably a family member of Enrico. So it could go either way. I'm a little bit more, now that I've said it, and maybe this is just recency bias, but now that I've like put it out there, I'm a little bit higher on the Poochie theory than the Joestar theory, especially since there's more evidence against Poochie being a Joestar than there is against Poochie, Weather Report being a Joestar than Weather Report being a Poochie. Like I said, I don't know. This would that, but that I'm so glad that we got that this episode, because that was a great reveal. Like I don't think I said enough on how great of a reveal that is, and how much that says for how much potential that has for the story. But dear God, the things we could get into just because some random character, like pretty much a random character, shows up with the star. Like, bro, what are you? Like that's the what are you? That's the question that's going to be burning in my mind for the, because I'm watching this week to week, and I refuse to do it any other way. Like I'm gonna watch episode 2 for Patreon, blah blah blah. But you know, but I'm watching this week to week, so I have to. What are you? What the fuck? What the fuck is Weather Report? This man is an enigma. Or if he's actually related to Poochie, he's an enigga. See myself out after that. You know, I want to kill myself. Oh, okay, yeah. Yo, I don't know what that's the question of the day. What is Weather Report? Who is Weather Report? And I'll do you one better. Why is Weather Report? So that's about it. Sorry that I had to jump back on and rant more. I don't know what to tell you. There's something about this show that just adds questions upon questions upon questions upon questions for me, and I can't stop thinking about them. Like, I'm sorry to get on another tangent real quick, but that's one of the things I really like about JoJo, and like other shows that makes them like my favorite shows, like JoJo, Attack on Titan, and like some other shows. Like I think about these shows way more than I need to after I've turned off the recording, like the record button. Like I turn off the record button and I continue to think about these shows, and that's, for me, that's what makes these shows so fucking good, is that I can't stop thinking about them. I continue to lay in bed and go, man, so like what is the theory behind like Jolene's power, and how did that come? Like where did the arrow actually come from? And because that's really fucking interesting shit, and the show is interesting, and this is a good ass show. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. This is a good ass show, and I'm sorry for hopping back on the soapbox after I stepped off. But I had to add that because, dear God, my brain was going to places that I didn't think it would. So, with all that, let's actually do the outro now. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, blah blah blah. You know the deal. Do all the YouTube things. Subscribe, like, comment. You know it. Love the lurkers and all that. So I'm gonna get off of here. Actually render this video and not stop it and have to re-render. It's not like it takes me like hours to render a video. I wonder why. But yeah, as always, let me get my off button ready. You all stay amazing, stay safe, and take care of yourselves.